Hello, I am Lori Duck.
Hi, Lori. I am Catherine. Rara is in the house. Sarah Myers.
And
Welcome.
we are the Gratitude Girls. And while we talk to you tonight, if you have any questions or comments, you're welcome to post them below this video right in our comment section.
Well, Lori, it's so good to see you tonight. I couldn't wait to talk to you. Pardon me for speaking over you. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How have you been this month?
Oh, gosh. Thank you for asking. Yeah, it's been a wonderfully crazy week. So for our audience to know that I'm speaking to you from Ontario, Canada. So I'm in the Niagara region. And all summer long, I have to tell you, it was beautiful. It's green. It's magnificent. We just moved here in March. And yesterday was our first snowfall. Anyway, that's gone. But it was our very first experience living here in this beautiful quasi country compared to where you are. For us, it's country. And then when we saw that snowfall, we thought, wow, this is amazing. So we're wonderful. We're having a great week, acclimatizing to the climate and understanding what it's like to be in a new home and a new environment, surrounded by new friends, new people. Yeah, it's a great week of adjusting. How about you?
Awesome. Well, yes, it's gotten quite cold here too. It was 29 actually even the other day. So for us, that's crazy because we don't like it cold.
Yeah, well, Lori, it's funny. We talk about, all the guests on our show and where they live. And sometimes we don't really get into the basics of where you and I are. Tonight, as we were talking earlier, for our audience, it's a really good idea for our audience to know where we are, a day in the life, what is surrounding us, what is the mechanism that we dance around to make sure that we're here and present and ready. I'd like to do something a little impromptu tonight, your very favorite thing. I know you totally love these surprises that I give you, but I think it would make it very real. It would give a good picture. So let's talk about the last 24 hours, because this is every month we do our show. And I'd like to, we can leave out some of the details because some may be boring, but generally speaking, I would like to, I'll go first, right? So you can think a little bit about it. So the last 24 hours of what has happened before we get onto a show. So you and I are basically doing all of the other things that we do during the course of the day, our careers, to pay our bills, to create new bills, to, do all the things that we like to do and have fun with. Plan trips, which is what we do quite often now. So the last 24 hours, I know the next trip is coming. So I did something really interesting yesterday. I was moving furniture. My husband was moving furniture, and I was directing. I moved furniture, like pointing. But I actually did pick up a few pieces of glass and helping with him with the coffee table. And I did this kind of funny move. Like, it wasn't very awkward. It was kind of slow and swift. And the next thing I knew, I wasn't sure what happened. So for me, a day in the life of Gratitude Girls, the last 24 hours, I hopped into my yoga because I knew that would get me out of my feeling of being so tight. So I've been focusing on how do I get myself to look good when I sit up on the show here and speak to people. So I hit the yoga mat. And in addition to hitting the yoga mat, I said, well, it's our show. So the last 24 hours, I've done a few things that might or might not look so obvious. And that takes hours. I'm on the phone. We're eating and exercising. We're making sure the house is nice and clean so that in case we do a grand tour, there is nothing behind this screen that I wouldn't want you to see, and nothing in front of this screen that I wouldn't want you to see. So I've created in the last 24 hours a brand new workspace, dove into my yoga, ran to my hairdressers and my esthetician, made sure everything was great so that tonight's show could be smooth sailing. How about you?
Yes, well, the last 24 hours, the same thing. I do a lot of the same things to get ready, But I also actually moved furniture yesterday. Actually, the same thing. I didn't. I had the boys do it. But we got rid of our old couches and bought new couches on the Black Friday special that was ahead of time. So got those moved in and rearranged things as well. And same thing, had the house cleaned up. That was really nice. I had a friend do that for me even too. So that was even better. And then, yes, and got my hair fixed and got my makeup done and tried to look pretty.
Yes, because yesterday I looked a little different. Just a little, ever so slightly, a little tiny bit. And I make it a ritual. So for our audience, it's really important that I'm a ritualistic person. I like to have rituals. I like to do things pretty much the same time. And I am open for change. So that's the kind of person that I am. I can sit on the fence and say, the fourth Tuesday of every single month, it's Gratitude Girls. And throughout the course of the day of our show, I am interviewing for next month and 2 months and 3 months down the road. We're conversing about our guests and their availability and when our guests are scheduled and planned. And so the day of our show, we're basically talking about 1 and 2 and 3 months down the road to make sure that everything, to make sure that everything is going to run smoothly. So we're producing, we're writing, we're co-writing, we are creating, we're co-creating, we are developing interest, we're interviewing, we're reading. And there are times that we choose to have just you and I hanging out so our audience can get to know us better. So during the course of the year, when I'm interviewing people, I will say to them, go watch our show on November 24th, learn a little bit about us, and then see if we're a good fit for you. So it really makes a lot of sense to me that you and I get upfront and personal with our audience.
Right, yes, because of course we do get upfront and personal with all of our guests too, right?
Yes, we do. And I'd like to share with our audience a cute little thing that happened just before the show started. So tonight, Lori and I wanted to have a four-legged furry guest on. And our four-legged baby was right in front of the screen, but left us for what? A stick outside?
The stick outside and the boys outside.
Okay, so our four-legged guest who was going to greet you tonight, we wanted to share the home life of having an animal, a pet. What is it like to have the love of a pet? And what is it like to have more than one pet? So what I thought we would do tonight is also focus a little bit about the things that surround us and our family members and our furry family members. At this moment, we are without one. We are without an animal or pet, or we're without an adopted pet. Well, I do have what I call a dogter, a dog daughter, and that doggy's name is Coconut. So I have adopted Coconut to be her godmother, and she's my dog daughter. And you met Dr. Erica, and that's Dr. Erica's puppy. So for me, it's a visiting dog who runs over to me, who plays with me, and then runs away, and then the mommy, Dr. Erica, takes care of Coconut the rest of the day. But for a full-time mom of Tigger, could you tell us what that's like?
Yes, well, she is, I'll show you a picture.
Okay, please do.
Let's see if we can see it here. Can you see it there on the screen? Not sure.
Yes, oh, yes, yes, we can.
She is a little 150-pound Mastiff. So she is the baby of the house, and she has 5 kittens that are her boss. So, but they run around the house all the time. They rule the roost, and, you know, we get to live here with them. So
Lori, let me ask you, because we moved into this house and we were thinking of getting a dog exactly like your dog. That was precisely what we wanted to do. traveling came up, and so that's why we made our decision. But what is it like to wake up to your puppy in the morning? What is it like to have your puppy there unconditionally? Can you share that type of bond with us, with our audience?
Oh, yes. Well, it's wonderful. She, can always see and tell anything that's going on with you and your life, and what you're feeling. They can sense everything, and they can go around. They follow you everywhere, whether you're going to the restroom or the kitchen. She loves ice cubes. That's her like favorite treat. So it's really great. You can, of course we buy her treats from PetSmart also, but really her favorite treat, I bought this new ice cube maker, and it makes these little ice cubes that are kind of hollow. And so they're not really hard. They're kind of like soft ice cubes. And so I love to crunch them too. And so I fill up my glass every day and put them in it. And every time I walk in the kitchen, she's in there, and we've taught her to sit and to smile if she wants a treat. So I walk in the kitchen and she's already in the kitchen. She's already sitting and she's already smiling at me, waiting for me to give her an ice cube treat.
Wow, that's great. You taught your puppy to smile. That's a wonderful, wonderful experience. So you must be smiling at her a lot too.
Yes, pretty much, because she makes me laugh. She makes me smile. And so when we got her a few months after some major events in my life. And we decided to name her Trigger. Our last dog that we had was a boxer, and his name was Bullet. And because my husband was a police officer, that's just kind of what he liked. And so we named her Trigger. But it was kind of neat because it was also when Mom would have issues during the day, little moments like everybody has. My daughter said, "Oh, Mom, Trigger fixes Mommy's triggers." So, and that's true. She does.
That I never knew that story. So there's no way I'm going to mispronounce Trigger's name now because I know the story, and the story is so important. And I didn't know that background. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. My goodness, there's always a story, right, behind what's happened. Now, some of our audience tonight might be new tuning in. I don't want our audience who has heard us before to think that we're saying the same thing, but I'm really grateful for so many things. And I was wondering if you thought it would be appropriate to talk a little bit about, how we met, because we're going into another year, and we had a vision and still do have a vision, and it's been evolving. And you and I met serendipitously. Is that a word?
We can make it a word if it's not, right?
We made it. We made it a word. So can we share a little bit with our audience about what that was for us when we basically saw each other and how this show evolved?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that'd be a great idea. And I meant to tell you too. I hadn't had the chance yet, so I'll just tell you right now.
Okay.
So I met somebody the other day, and so same thing like what you were talking about, we're always talking about people and interviewing people for good stories for our show, right? And so this lady I met, she said she was from Toronto, Canada, and moved here recently. And I said, "Oh, wow." Well, so then I told her about our show, and I told her how we started, that, at our company convention, we're both in this greeting card company, that we get to send out happiness through the mail and make people smile all the time. And in our company, we have different awards every single year. And in 2013 was the Gratitude Award. And out of about 200,000 distributors, there's usually one person that is picked for that award. And so they were announcing it, and I was in the audience with my trusty camera, and I was videotaping, and I got Miss Catherine Asaro Myers was announced, and I was videotaping her and taking pictures and everything. And then our CEO said, but this year we have something special because we have a tie, and announced my name. So Catherine and I got to meet on stage together. First time we met each other. And so after that, of course, we got together and talked to each other and said, we need to do something about this. And what, 2 minutes later, Gratitude Girls was born.
Exactly. Thank you. And Lori, I remember the minute I looked right at you, and I remember when we walked down the steps off the stage, and I remember holding each other's hand because there was a step there, so we both kind of gave each other our hands, and it just felt like we were meant to meet. That was an introduction that it can't be beat. We were meant to meet. That was an introduction that can't be beat. I think we have to talk to our CEO about this because it felt like it was the right place at the right time. And we have basically been continuing discussing gratitude, sharing gratitude. We search for gratitude and gratitude searches for us. And the stories, when I ask someone, do you have a gratitude story? They think, well, I'll have to think about that. Wait a minute, it takes them a split second. So sharing this with our audience gives them an idea of how did this happen? Was this a part of a 5-year plan? It just happened. And we both acted on it. We did not wait. We did not want to wait. We felt that that was something probably for the first time in our company. The very first time was there a tie, correct? So we've made,
so, yeah.
Right? We've made history in our company. And to maintain that, to have that vibration continue, we decided to have Gratitude Girls. And it is part of our Facebook life, our real life, it's our social media life, it's part of our existence no matter where we go. I have a purple gratitude card, Gratitude Girls card. And it just feels like I'm a gratitude girl. That's it. There's nothing else. You can't take that away from me. And my hairdresser knows it's Gratitude Girl night. My esthetician knows. They know that this is part of who I am, and it's the 4th Tuesday of every month. So whether that person watches our show or watches it later, it comes on live. I have a friend in Vegas tonight who is probably tuning in right now, and she knows it's a gratitude night. So I believe that we were really meant to bring this happiness out beyond wherever else it should have been and wherever else it needs to be. We're here to deliver that message. That was an amazing, amazing moment. And I would love our audience to understand that whatever happens to you tonight, tomorrow, act on that because it could be your Gratitude Girl moment.
Right, absolutely. And, and the more you focus on gratitude, and that's what we try to teach and preach, kind of, right? The more you focus on gratitude, the more you get things attracted to you that you can be grateful for, right?
Yes, some people, Lori, I talk to a lot of people during the course of the day, as you do, from all over the world. We have international conversations, and I know it's part of my day. Now, I guess it was 24 hours ago, I spoke to a business partner of mine, and we had a conversation about gratitude. And today she called me and said, I wanted to call you all day to thank you. So, Carolyn, this message is for you. Carolyn called me to say, I want to thank you for reminding me to focus on gratitude again. And I talked about a challenge. I said, why don't you take another gratitude journey for 7 days? Why don't we look at gratitude? It's part of our life, but let's make it specific. Let's make it intentional. And when Carolyn thanked me today, it's Carolyn Jackson, she said that, I thought, you know what, my heart's in the right place. That really warmed my heart because it's how I think. Put gratitude in your life. If you ran out of milk, you would go to the store. If you ran out of bread or salad or whatever you love, you would make sure you got it, put it in your fridge or your pantry. If you needed new shoes, you would go out and get them. Makeup, we talked about it. Beauty products, vitamins, cards. If you ran out of it, you would find a way to go and get it. What about making sure that you never run out of gratitude?
And how is that? That is so important too, right? I mean, because everybody in life has issues, right? No matter whether you're rich or you're poor, or you're fat or you're skinny, or you're tall or you're short, you're white or you're black, or whatever, it doesn't matter. Everybody has issues in their life that come up, right? So when you do, if you learn to focus on that gratitude and find whatever you can be thankful for, that helps, because when you're focusing on gratitude, you can't be sad, right? I mean, you can have feelings and remember things, but you can be generally happy because you're focusing on gratitude and you're focusing on things that you're thankful for, right?
Yes, and we open the door. Let's talk a little bit about what do we do during the course of the day to keep gratitude in our life. So during the course of the day, and I'll start with the end of the day because I like to be different. We meditate, and when we meditate, we open up the floodgates. We allow that emotion, we allow that vibration to come into our life. So on a daily basis, we're meditating morning and night. So whatever you want to call meditation, you can call that, whether it's a moment staring out the window. For us, it's a little bit more formal, and we do follow a ritual. So for us, it's making sure that gratitude, the door is open, that it comes into us on a vibrational level. And when that vibration, think about music, when it comes in, there's a tonality and it resonates with us throughout the day. And if I have to strain myself to listen for it, I make sure I tune back into gratitude. So I'll go back into the person that I want to share gratitude with. I'll go back to someone and ask them, how is gratitude in their life? I will constantly reach out to people to spread the gratitude and to feel it. How about you?
Right. Yes. Well, yeah. And for me, I do, like, just really quickly, I probably do a lot more different times of the days and things like that. But in general, every day I wake up and I start with a prayer, and I thank God for some things in my life, and thank God for waking up in the morning. And then I go throughout the day, and I actually have a notepad on my desktop. So when I'm working from home, I will go to that notepad and read just a couple lines, usually just 5 short sentences of different things throughout the day, maybe, 2 minutes here and 2 minutes there in between different things that I'm working on. And then also whenever I'm driving to different appointments, that's the time that I use to focus on thinking about what I'm thankful for, and what I'm thankful for that I'm attracting into my life and that's coming into my life also. And then also right before I go to bed, I say my prayers, and then I have a gratitude journal, and I always write at least 3 to 5 things of just things that have happened throughout the day. So everybody can say like different things, like they're thankful for their kids, they're thankful for their spouse, they're thankful for their house, their car to drive, things like that. And of course you should say those, but also like what happened specifically throughout the day that you can be thankful for. And so a lot of times also with that, then those times that aren't so great, that we have those issues, that we start to think of things, especially for me, I can get out that gratitude journal and I can look at that and I can read some things to remind myself, yes, I need to be thankful for this and this and this and this. And so for me, that's really helped me throughout my life, but that's kind of in general what I do.
Yes, thank you for sharing, and thank you for reminding me about our journal. So I have a bit of a free form methodology in the morning. I have a book that I write in, and whatever is coming to me, I physically write in that book. And I write the things that are flowing through my mind. And then when I am out of that moment, and whether I'm in my home office or I'm out somewhere, I use my notes in my iPhone, and I write down my dreams and my desires. So I have ideas come into my mind, and I put them out in my book. I write my dreams and desires. So I have my affirmations, and I have the things that I'm grateful for in my gratitude journal. And you and I talked about this before we go to sleep at night, to read our affirmations as if we have already. So I'd like to teach our audience a little bit about I am affirmations. So let's see if we can do this in a very quick way. So an affirmation is as if you are already there. For example, let's say we want to talk about a home. I am enjoying my home in the country. Simple. Some people might say, I'm hoping for my home in the country. I'm saving for my home in the country. When you are there, even if you aren't there, you declare it as if you are. So let's say, for example, I wanted to be in Italy on top of the mountain. I would write my affirmation and say, I am enjoying being on top of the mountain in Italy. I haven't been there yet, but I'm writing it. So Lori, would you like to give a sample, an example of an affirmation?
Sure, yes. And also I always like to say too, because long time ago when I first learned about affirmations, I always had trouble thinking about them because I would feel like, oh, well, you're not supposed to say something that hasn't happened yet as if it had, because then that would be a lie, so that would be a sin, right? And so I had trouble with that for a while. And actually, a really good pastor friend of mine said, read your Bible, right? And so God says, think as if ye have already received and have the faith of a mustard seed, right? And so, so that makes total sense, and God says to dwell on things that are of good rapport. And so anyway, so I just throw that little tidbit in there. But yeah, so like some of the things that I've said, well, like one of the things I said last year, before June of last year, was I am driving my brand new hot pink Expedition. And guess what I drive now?
Your hot pink Expedition. Exactly. As we talked about our home, I visualized walking through our home before we bought it. And once we saw it, I lived in it. I lived through it. Closed my eyes, I was there. So with our affirmations, even if we don't know it exists yet, you put that affirmation down, you write it, you say it, write it, say it. That's anchoring it. And then you repeat that to yourself. So whether you read your affirmations in the morning, you read them at night, twice a day, you read what it is that you have accomplished as if you've accomplished it, and that's what you focus on. So if, for example, if you have a bill and you think about that bill, oh my goodness, how am I going to pay that? That's what you're going to get. You're going to get more worry about how are you going to do something. If you are focusing on what you are grateful for as if, then that's what you will get. So Gratitude Girls was part of some seed that was planted in both of our heads. So when Lori and I met, it was there, it was ready. We had manifested the moment in our lives that we had wanted to do something, and we saw ourselves there. And the moment that our eyes crossed, our bodies touched, we walked across the stage, when our CEO brought us together, that was the moment. That was already planned. So I strongly and firmly believe that if you live as if, you will attract that.
Right, absolutely. And, and that's, when you were just saying that, that made me think of something else too. Of one of the things I've said for the past few years, actually before we met, was I am making a difference for good in the lives of everyone that I touch. And I am attracting great business partners and amazing business partners into my life. And what did I do? I attracted you, and we're making a difference in the lives of people all over the world all the time, right?
Thank you. Yes, yes. And I am an organic farmer planting seeds all over the world of successful people, and I attracted you. It's how we think, right? It's how we roll. Carolyn Jackson has a granddaughter, and her granddaughter says, "That's how I roll, Grandma." And I think about that so many times a day because Carolyn tells the story of her granddaughter. And I think, how cute must that be when her little granddaughter looks up to her and says, that's just because it's how I roll, Grandma. So that's us. That's how we roll. That's who we are. And sharing a little piece of us, a piece of our paradise, a day in the life, are the last 24 hours, the previous 48 hours. It lets our audience know who we are and how we get here. And as soon as our show is done, we're planning the next one. We're recapping. Lori, I watch our show, I don't know how many times, to see that we could improve. We listen to questions and requests. So for me, I am enjoying our success as Gratitude Girls. I would say teaching our audience and sharing with our audience to the good of them, to the good of our audience, so that they can enjoy Gratitude Girls.
Absolutely, yes. And it's so great to find other people's stories and get them to realize, some people don't even realize the gratitude story that they have right in their heart, and once we talk to them and get them to open up a lot of times, then they realize that story that they have and realize how much that story needs to be shared with the world, because how many other people could their story help, right? And so, and that's what we're all here to do, right? We're here to help each other.
Yes, and our gratitude shows that if you are thinking about being a guest, or if you've already been a guest, you know that in real time, things happen, songs happen, dance happens, poetry, inspiration, wonderful things happen, technology happens, we overcome it. Many things go on during the course of our show, and they're not rehearsed. This is a true hangout. We are hanging out, we are sharing, and things evolve right here. So if you like the revolution of evolution, then keep your eye on our show, because these things truly do happen. And they happen to us, and they happen to you when you're with us. So I encourage our audience to think of someone who has a story, a song in their heart about gratitude. Reach out to them. Let us know. Let us know that you know of someone that has that story, and watch the magic. Just talking to us about it, things blossom. And I'm so excited that we get to spend a good part of our day, every day, in gratitude. And sharing gratitude with you, Lori, it's amazing. It's wonderful. I don't want our show to end. I don't know where the time goes. But how does this happen? We wait all month and that's it? Time flies like that? My goodness.
Yes, time flies when you're having fun, right?
Oh, yes. Yes, let's talk a little bit about what's to come. So what can we look forward to? Our next show, it's December. Nothing stops us. It's how we roll.
That's right.
December 22nd.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so we're back. We're here next month. So the fourth Tuesday of every month, you can count on us. You can count on Lori and I being here, and you can count on us sharing something with you and with our guests that even our guests don't know. So our guests may think, I'm going to share this story. They come on our show and they're inspired to do something else. It's really a miracle in the making. It is. Our show truly does touch me. And Lori, if there's anything that I can do for you throughout the course of the month, let's go to our page. Let's invite our visitors, our guests tonight, to go to our Gratitude Girls page. Can you tell people a little bit about how to get to our website and our Facebook pages?
Yes, absolutely. So you can send us your gratitude stories right on our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/gratitudegirls. You can also watch all of our past shows right on www.gratitudegirls.com. We are here every single month, the fourth Tuesday of every month, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, 7:30 Mountain, and 6:30 Pacific.
Well, Lori, I appreciate you. I am grateful for you and for our audience. I want to send you some love from Ontario, Canada to Columbia, Tennessee, and I look forward to gratituding with you.
I do you as well. And thank you so much. Have a wonderful month.
You too. Ciao.